It might be Halloween today, but I've got to tell you, my personal nightmare, that was Saturday night. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. I've got 3 free picks coming your way, plus a recap of how the NFL season has gone versus the point spread in terms of favorites, underdogs, and over-unders as well. Plus, quick reminder for you, if you did not take advantage of that money-saving coupon that I gave you yesterday, it is still good today. If you didn't use it yesterday, you can use it today. Enter SAVE25. SAVE25. Do not put a space between the words save and 25. It's all together. Enter SAVE25 in your shopping cart when prompted today, and you will save $25 off your purchase price. Whatever you buy. Me, anybody at the site, you save $25 using that coupon code SAVE25. And again, these coupons and discounts and freebies that I give you here are only available on my video report. I do it to reward you for your loyalty and your patronage, and I try to do it at least once a week. So SAVE25 is a money-saving discount coupon. So yesterday, I had 4 college football plays. I lost the first 2 early in the day, 5-dime releases, South Carolina failing to get the job done against Tennessee, and Georgia losing in overtime against Florida. But I wasn't too concerned. I was only down 11 dimes, and I had 2 plays, including a rare 15-dime college release going on Saturday night. Well, at about 9:30 out here, Pacific time here in Vegas, I was feeling pretty damn good because I had Nevada laying 27.5 against Utah State. They were up 35-0 in Reno at home at halftime. Meanwhile, I had Hawaii laying 15 points at home against Idaho. They were up 31-7. Look good, right? I'm figuring, hey, I lost 11 early, but I'll walk away with 20 at night. I'll walk away with a net profit of 9 dimes. Not so quickly. Nevada gives up 42 points in the second half. 42 points. After the game, their head coach, Chris Hall, said that was perhaps one of the worst defensive second halves he's ever seen. Really, Chris? Really? Duh? I mean, you have to be an MIT grad to figure that out? 42 points in the second half? And what are you doing rotating your quarterback throughout the game? I mean, this is an offense averaging 48 points a game. What do you have to rotate your quarterback for Christ's sake? I was stunned. I mean, so instead of walking away with a small profit, I walk away with like a 22.5 dime loss for the day. Not too happy about that. But I, of course, am the guy that always says, the breaks ultimately even out over the long term. That's the only guarantee I can give you after 25 years as a gambler and a handicapper. And they also say the cliche is that good and bad things come in 3. So I'm thinking, last Sunday, Ben Roethlisberger fumbles on the potential game-covering touchdown at Miami. Cost me the game there. Thursday night, Christian Ponder fumbles on the 4-yard line and 58 seconds to play at NC State. Cost me the potential win and cover there. And then, of course, Nevada gives up 42 points in the second half. So I'm figuring, can it get worse? It does. For me, at least. So I go to the movies last night, and those little concrete buffers that they put at the front of some parking spaces? Well, I have a Chrysler 300. I mean, it's a great car. It's loaded. I mean, this thing has the V8 Hemi engine. This baby flies 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds. I mean, this baby moves. It almost drives itself. It should have been driving itself instead of me driving it last night, because unbeknownst to me, when I pull into the parking space, if you're familiar with the Chrysler 300 series of cars, it has a very low front skirt, meaning it's very close to the ground. So that little concrete buffer at the front of the parking space, unbeknownst to me, my skirt goes up a little bit over the buffer. No big deal. It happens all the time. It scratches the underside. Nobody ever sees it when you get rid of the car unless you're a mechanic and you have it on a lift, right? So I come out of the movie, I go to back out of the space, and I hear something that's the equivalent of like your fingernails on a chalkboard. Next thing I know, I look down, and that noise I heard, that was the bumper, the front skirt, getting pulled entirely off the car on the ground. Because what happened is that, unbeknownst to me, I like that word unbeknownst, I'm using it a lot today, there's like a little spike exposed about a ½ inch above the concrete buffer that supposedly anchors it in the ground on the right-hand side, and that ½ inch extra of the spike got underneath it and pulled it off as I backed down. So I got to tell you guys, I better win today, because to make that car showroom perfect again, it's going to cost me a fortune. Now today, I say this jokingly, but it's not a joke, today I have just one play. Packers-Jets, 15-dime release. Same 15-dime play in the NFL in 27-12-2 over the past 3 years. Packers, do they build on the success of last Sunday's victory against Brett Favre and the Vikings at Lambeau? Did the Jets come out sluggish after their bye week, or do they roll to their 6th straight win and cover? Or does New York play as poorly as it did at Denver 2 Sundays ago when it needed a magnificent comeback in the fourth quarter and a final minute touchdown by LT to get that win and cover? That is my lone play today. I've got free selections coming up for you in just a moment. Let's talk about straight up winners. So far this year, they are 84-16 against the spread in the NFL. They've made you a fortune if you had a crystal ball and you could pick just all the straight up winners. Favorites so far this year, they have sucked. 5-9 against the spread last week, 39-61-4 ATS so far this year. In fact, 7 weeks of the season, the Dogs have had the upper hand in 6 of them. Home favorites, they're 14 games under 500. Road favorites, they're 9 games under 500. Totals, however, 10 out of 14 games went over the number last weekend. 35-21, the over has been coming through the past 4 weeks. My free picks in just a second. However, I also want to tell you about some red-hot handicappers. Chuck O'Brien, nobody hotter in the country, right? 18-3 with his NFL side selections this season. 18-3. Today as a 75-dime winner, number 5 in a row on Cincinnati and Miami. He had a 75-dime winner last week when he went against the Bengals and backed the Falcons. Does he back them again or go against them again today? Or does he finally lay the points with the Bengals? You will see today. That's his latest NFL winner. Again, 18-3 on the season with sides. How about Steven Nober? Kudos to him. Yesterday hitting his biggest college play of the year, 75-dime play on San Diego State. He told you to buy the half point down. San Diego State laying 10, wins by 10 at Wyoming. You win money because he gave you the good advice. Today, only the 5th ever 100-dime play in his 17-year handicapping career in the NFL. And it's on the Chargers-Titans game. He won a 100-dime play in the NFL 2 Sundays ago when he told you to buy down the hook on the Colts. They won by 3, laying 2.5 then against Washington. And 100-dime plays in all sports. He's won 9 out of 12 over the past 3 months. And how about the new kid on the block, Andy Finelli? Did he not tell you Oregon would beat USC by 3 touchdowns? Money in the bank again yesterday. His biggest play, his first ever 60-dime release. He is 5-1 over the past week, 187 dimes. And today he's upping the ante once more. His first ever 75-dime play on Seattle and Oakland. This is even stronger than his first of 2 straight 50-dime plays last Sunday when he told you the Redskins would win outright at Chicago. Okay, let's get to your free picks. First one. What have the fine people of London ever done to deserve having the 49ers and Broncos sent to them and being forced to watch them at Wembley Stadium? If this is the NFL's idea of selling their product globally, you think they would have sent the Saints and the Steelers instead? Listen, I like the Broncos in this game. I wasn't surprised that Denver got hammered by Oakland last week because it was a letdown game. Because a week prior, they had the Jets on the ropes and they let them escape. So they were mentally destroyed and emotionally crushed by that loss in the final minute of play. San Francisco lost to Carolina last week, giving the Panthers their first win of the season. They're 1-3 ATS as a favorite this year. Mike Singletary, what gives with this guy? Another example of a former great player who really doesn't have the acumen to be a great coach or even a good one. Instead of starting David Carr with Alex Smith injured, he turns to Troy Smith. Does the guy even know the 49ers playbook? Hasn't started a game since the Ravens had him back in 2007, like the Broncos in this one. Next free pick, Kansas City. Who would have guessed the Chiefs have 4 wins? That's more than the Vikings and the Cowboys combined. Chiefs 3-0 straight up in ATS at home this season. The key in this game, number 1 rushing attack for the Chiefs. With Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones averaging 170 yards a game and 5 yards a carry against a Bills defense giving up 175 rushing yards a game. Bills had the Ravens on the ropes in Baltimore last week, up 24-10. They lose in overtime 37-34. Defense gives up 504 yards in the contest. They can't pressure the quarterbacks, 29th in the league in terms of sacks. The secondary has suffered because of that, giving up 14 TD passes and just 1 interception on the season. Again, I think Kansas City has a big game here. 7.5 point favorite, buy down the hook in this one. Your final free pick, I'm going to go with the Lions at home. Only their 3rd home game against Washington. This one 2.5 to 3. If you have 3, you buy down the half point here as well. They covered in their home game against the Eagles, losing by 3. Then they hammered the Rams 44-6. As for Washington, 16.6 per game. They don't score. They've been outgained in every single game this season. They got Matthew Stafford back, Calvin Johnson back, Javon Best back. I think it's a great time to lay the points with the Lions, who are 5-1 ATS already this season. Guys, that'll do it. Catch you again on Monday.